Hello, welcome back again. Today we're going to take a look at dividing fractions that are both positive and negative. So again, we're going to have to remember our fraction rules as well as our integer rules. So feel free to go back and rewatch the integer videos if you need to brush up on those. So the thing to remember when we're dividing fractions, we rewrite it as a multiplication problem by using the reciprocal of our second fraction. And remember, the reciprocal is simply your multiplicative inverse. Basically means you flip-flop the two numbers. When you multiply them, you should get a product of 1. So if I have 5/7, it's reciprocal. I flip-flop them as 7/5. If I multiplied those, I'd get 35 over 35. Anything divided by itself is 1, so that'd be 1 whole. So we'll take a look at some of our problems here. And this is another one where I like to use these initials to help you remember. Everybody hates the Yankees, except for me. I love math, I love Yankees. I'm weird. You guys hate math, you hate the Yankees, so we use the dreaded New York Yankees. No, I don't do anything to my first number. That stays the same. Yes, I change my division sign into a multiplication sign. Yes, I change my second fraction into its reciprocal. All right, no, yes, yes. Or the New York Yankees, you hate them, you hate math. See, it all works out. Then from here, now that it's multiplication, now I can reduce actually before I multiply, make it easy on myself. 2 goes into 2 once, goes into 8 4 times. 7 times 1 is 7, 4 times 1 is 4, 7 fourths, or if we want to rewrite it, 1 and 3 fourths. These were both positive, so my answer is also positive. All right, so we'll just keep going this way. So here I have negative 5/6, changing my division to multiplication, flip-flopping my second fraction. Instead of 7/10, I have 10/7. 6 and 10 have a common factor of 2. So I'm going to do that now just to make it a little easier, so I'm multiplying smaller numbers. I have one negative sign, which means my answer is going to become negative. 5 times 5 is 25. 3 times 7 is 21. Negative 25 over 21. Or if we wanted to rewrite it, we'd call it negative 1 and 4 21sts. Here, the thing to remember and what I like to do, I have a whole number. I like to write it over 1 so you don't get confused when you try to write its reciprocal, okay? Change it into the fraction first, then you'll remember when you're doing the reciprocal, it's going to become 1 over 30, okay? Just little steps to make sure that you don't make silly mistakes. So the first number stays the same, 5/6. My division turns into multiplication. I'm going to flip-flop 30, or 30 over 1, which becomes 1/30. 5 and 30 both have a factor of 5. On the top, I have 1 times 1. On the bottom, I have 6 times 6. They're both positive. My answer is positive, 1/36. Here, you'll notice both of my signs are negatives. Remember, if there's an even number of negative signs, that gives me a positive answer. So here, my answer is going to be positive. Again, here we have a mixed number. The same way with multiplication, that we have to change it into its improper form, we have to do the same thing for division. I'm going to say it again because it's important. You have to change mixed numbers into improper fractions to multiply or divide, or you're going to wind up with funky numbers. So make sure you change them. So 8 times 2 is 16. 16 plus 7 is 23. Keep my denominator. Changing that sign to the multiplication, changing division to multiplication, changing my second number to its inverse, 2 over 1. They're both negative. I didn't write the signs over. We can. I just try to keep them in my head to make sure I know what my answer is going to be. It's going to be positive. Again, I can reduce 2 and 8 both have a factor of 2. And then we can do our multiplication. 23 times 1 is 23. 4 times 1 is 4. So 23 over 4, or if we want to convert it, 5 and 3/4, if you want to put it back into its mixed form. All right? So again, here I have a mixed number. Have to change it into its improper form. 23/3, changing my multiplication, my division to multiplication, and 3 is a whole number, so I like to write it over 1 so I don't get confused. Changing that into 1/3. It's reciprocal. All right? Nothing here is going to cancel out, so we're just going to do our math. I have one negative sign, so that means my answer is going to wind up being a negative number. 23 times 1 is 23. 3 times 3 is 9. And again, if you want to switch it into its mixed number form again, you can. That would be -2 and 5 ninths. All right, let's take a look at our last one. Here, again, you'll notice I have a whole number. I'm going to change it into a fraction by writing it over 1. That stays the same. My division changes into multiplication, and I need to change this into a mixed number, or into an improper fraction before I can get my reciprocal. 16 times 1 is 16, plus 1 is 17. So this is the same as 17 over 16. My reciprocal then, that I'm going to write down here for my multiplication, is 16 seventeenths. Okay? There's nothing that's going to reduce here, which means I'm going to have to multiply a big number. 21 times 16, I'm not going to do that in my head. I don't think I can. Well, I suppose if I tried hard enough, I probably could, but I don't want to. 336 over 17, and again, we could convert that into a mixed number. I'm not going to make you. We can leave it right like that. And then remember, I had one negative in my problem, so my answer is negative. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to rewatch the video if you're confused. You can always go back, rewatch from the first unit.